Okay, for this first radical, we need to factor the 72. 72 is 9 times 8, so that's 3 squared times 2 to the third. So we can write this as 2 to the third times 3 squared, and then times x to the 15th and y to the 26th. And we're taking the square root, which means there's a little 2 here. We're dividing the exponents by 2. So 2 divides into 3 once with a remainder of 1. The remainder remains under the radical. 2 divides into 2 once with no remainder, so no 3's remain under the radical. 2 divides into 15 7 times with a remainder of 1. And 2 divides into 26 13 times with no remainder. So this expression simplifies to 6x to the 7th y to the 13th times the square root of 2x. In problem number 88, we're to rationalize the denominator, which is to get the radical out of the denominator. We can do that by simply multiplying the numerator and denominator by 7n m. Radical 7n m. We're here making use of the fact that the square root of a times the square root of a equals a. Where a could be any positive real number in any case here. So in the denominator, the result is 7n m. Gets rid of the radical. In the numerator now we have 7 times n, and then times radical 5 times radical 7 is radical 35. And m, so it's m squared n under there. The 7's and the n's cancel, so we're left with, one of these m's can come out of the radical, because the square root of m squared is m. So it's m radical 35n divided by m. Oh, so that m cancels. So this ends up equaling the square root of 35n. And we set out to only eliminate the radical, get the radical out of the denominator, but we eliminated the entire denominator. Now for problem number 89, the cube root of 40 times u to the 31 and v to the 23rd. First we need to factor 40. See, but 40 is equal to 4 times 10, so that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, or 2 to the third times 5. So we can replace the 40 with 2 to the third times 5 to the 1. Now we're going to divide the exponents. So we have 3 divides into 3 once, with no remainder, so no 2's remain under the radical. There's going to be some radical over here too, cube root. 3 doesn't divide into 1, so that 5 to the 1 remains under the radical. 3 divides into 31 10 times with a remainder of 1. 3 divides into 31 10 times with a remainder of 1. And 3 divides into 23. See, 3 divides into 23 7 times with a remainder of 2. So what this one is 2 times u to the 10th times v to the 7th times the cube root of 5u times v squared.